I'm so glad that these are.
Lisa, are you recording while we're writing?
Yeah, unless there's some privacy issues come up, and then if you don't want me to record it, I won't record it. I will delete. So if there's something comes up with like I don't want anybody hearing about that, perfectly fine. I will delete the thing.
Okay.
But people can't make it want the prompts.
Yeah.
And Kelly, Tiffany, you were saying something.
I was just saying that I'm glad that so much is recorded. I didn't mean to miss the first part of this session today, and I'm really looking forward to going back and watching the part about line breaks.
Yeah, you know what? I should remind everybody where those are. That's at Culturama community.blogspot.com. So yeah, and you can access all of our stuff all the way back to November with our big event.
Did you say
Can you put it on chat,
community?
so we can read it?
Yeah, I'll put that in chat.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, you can also, if you follow my YouTube page, that's got this and a bunch of other things as well. I have I ran a website called 30 Days Until Done for about 5 years, and it was a prompt a day, and every day within a month they were all unified. So by the end of the month you had a chapbook. So I've got about 1,200 prompts up on YouTube over the years.
Nice.
So okay, so welcome back to May Culturama, and we're going to do our a little bit of writing here now with some prompts. This afternoon we're going to have Andrea Ross, who's written a memoir. She's a former ranger. She's currently a creative writing professor, and she's been here a few times. She says it's hard for her to do 5 hours of creative writing now, so she wasn't here for the first part. And it's a book about her being out in nature while also searching for her birth parents. She's an adopted person in the process of doing that. It's a really interesting thing. I just today, my review of her book went up. So if you want to take a look at that before she's on, you can get a sense of what she's doing. And it's right, wait, I thought I put it there. It's there, there's the link to it. And I think you should all buy her book. It's fantastic. Okay, so I answered several questions, but I also, if you had other questions, we can take some time now to answer those questions. Does anybody have any follow-up questions? Just about anything creative writing? People outside of California wondering what Californians like? No? Okay. Okay, so why don't we take a look at the prompts, and I'm going to try to do prompts based on setting for today. We're going to start off. I'd like to do some ground rules for the things. Please don't make your writing thinly veiled attacks on other people in the group here. That's happened before. Telling the other people in the groups why they're not as good as you. Please don't do that.
Oh my God, I can't believe people do that.
Yeah. I can't believe I have to say it out loud. It's just stick to the problem, write your own work. Okay, so the first part we're gonna do, we talked about setting, and we talked about having somebody who we reveal character by the way they relate to the setting. We should take any character you want, maybe somebody new, maybe somebody you've worked with before, and we're gonna go to a place of that sometimes has ritual to it, but a library. I'm in the Inland Empire, so I've got a whole bunch of libraries around me. I've got the Claremont libraries, which look to me like Hogwarts. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Some of the libraries are very industrial. I've got the Ovid Library across the street from me, which is our local Ontario, California library. I like it very much. I've got Mount Sac Library, right? Each one has a different feel to it. So you're gonna have to have your own thing. But the really important part is the character relates to that place individually to him or herself, right? The character walks in and has a relationship with that library. So we're just gonna do, should we give the character a mission just to make it a little bit easier on you? What's the mission of the character?
to
Your
find
character
a
wants
book.
just to get a book?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
A
pretty.
book that's not there.
What's a book that's not there? Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Or it could be banned, or it could be hidden, or not available.
You know what people in grad school used to do is they used to take books that you knew they were going to need, and you put them someplace else.
Right.
So like you're the only one who could. Yeah, Jose.
Yes, also, I love taking my grandkids to the library when they read books to them, and people come and bring animals and they interact, so they get a fantastic relationship with the library. And they take the books out, bring it back, and there's a pond next to the library. So it is a fantastic experience for me as a grandparent, see the eyes, listen to the lady reading the books or playing a guitar, and involve them so they can become great readers and eventually, hopefully, great writers too.
That's great.
That's-
So I think that's a great. Maybe you and your grandchildren are trying to find a particular book. It's there or not there, or whatever. I think that's great. So we'll take maybe 10, 15 minutes for this.
Yeah.
Another 2 or 3 minutes. One more minute. All right, let's wrap up wherever you are. Okay, so there were some questions in the chat about just the schedule going forward. So before we read this, let's talk about that. Coming back, we're not going to be having Culturama in July, June, or August, and that's due in large part to the fact that I go to live in the Sierras during that time, and I go specifically to Sequoia Kings Canyon National Park, where I teach, and I teach free workshops. If anybody would like to, our camp is half a mile from the world's biggest tree, which is really cool. Have to deal with bears, but there are California bears. They're not Alaskan bears, which freak me out, Connie. We've got really mellow California bears that the big thing is you just have to chase them away, to spend your time chasing away.
You have to bear with the bears, right? You have to bear that.
Yes, bear with bears. That's right. Or chase them out of your camp. That's the first thing we teach. And so it's just a creative writing thing. But know that when you come there, it is not catered. I will give you the nicest piece of dirt on the whole mountain for you to put your tent onto. Bathrooms are right over there behind those bushes, right? And so you've got to be prepared. Actually, we've got porta potties. You've got to be prepared for rough living, but it's free, and you learn all about the high Sierras. And if you're interested, just message me. It's not officially up yet because of the nature of the federal government. Okay, so the dates. Yeah, it's going to be the last weekend in July. I'm doing that officially. There are no tree houses. We do have Ewoks. We have some Wookiees, but we have no tree houses. So okay. What's really kind of frustrating is, for a lot of people, including me, is we have our tents surrounding this really beautiful cabin that nobody's allowed into. So, it's right there, I sleep in my van. Okay, so if you'd like to, would anybody be up for reading what they have? Maybe put your name in the chat, or you know what, let's just use the raise hand function of the computer, which you can find under reactions down at the bottom of your thing. So who'd like to read?
I can't get it to, I'll read.
Okay, Marta.
I can't get that hands up thing. Oh, here it is. Okay, never mind. Okay, well, as you know, I do a lot of memoir. The library. I remember the Arroyo Seco Library in Highland Park. It was my home library, after all. I was allowed to walk there after school, all along Monte Vista, right past my piano teacher's home, with the sign in the window and pictures of her in Victorian clothing, on black and white playbills, standing, posed at a 3/4 angle, her arms outstretched, holding up her wide flounced long skirts, smiling mysterious like a gentle American Mona Lisa, into the big box camera with the man behind it that I couldn't see. I picked up 10 books at a time and then read most of them in the first few days. Actually, I read all of them, sorry. My mom forbade me to go more than twice a week because she knew I was, quote, reading them too fast. She wanted to make me make them last. Ha ha, what a fool's chase that was. When have I ever been able to make joy last? I devour joy in 1 or 2 large gulps, then rush out and search for more. And then there's another one. My friend with benefits, or maybe my benefits without the burden of friendship, fell in love with a girl so very inferior to me. But she was an animator for Warner Brothers, and she was what my friend Deb called ugly pretty. It was gratifying that her general form and color were the same as mine. She was younger, sure, and the appropriate choice to ask for her hand in marriage, move in, and then christen every surface in their house with wild, squishy, unabashed sexual positions and maneuvers. But when I listened to her be interviewed on a lengthy podcast, I replayed one part over and over and over, where she mentioned that her mom used to take her, excuse me, I can't go down, why not? Strange. To the library. Deb referred to her as the dummy after that. She called the next one he had the beak. I love Deb so very much.
All right. All right, thank you. So that's great. Kelsey.
This is Basho Cat. We were talking about Basho earlier. He's loving up on me right now. Okay, so with fiction, I'm not very good at it. So I tried like basing the character sort of like off my own experience, but then putting myself in this. I mean, I went to the library all the time, but I imagined a different sort of experience. So she has been called many names in the past and struggles to understand which fit. Like many people who speak in multiple languages, she knows words can be powerful, likes the way they sound, fill her mouth, and lift her tongue. She needs the privacy of a book, though, now because she is too afraid, does not know who to ask. She knows her aunt is gay, a lesbian, lives with a partner. She visits with family every year. She wanders down the aisle, always a few degrees cooler between the tall stacks in the summer. She will plop herself down next to whatever subject is interesting, birds or geography, sometimes biographies. She's not sure what section to look in, though, but lets the smell of books guide her slowly, eyes scanning over titles. She knows the librarian would help, but is not yet ready to share, not ready maybe to know. She has heard the word queer and likes it, feels safer between its letters, but has also heard the slurs in both English and Spanish, words that quiet and still her tongue, make her look down at her feet, double checking if she is really there, if she is real at all.
So, Kelsey, you said you're not good at fiction. What you just wrote was stuff that's inspired by your life, but not exactly you in a fictional setting. That's what fiction is. You're great at fiction.
Well, then I just figured it out right now because usually it's memoir, and I'm like, so how do I play with the memories to make them, I don't know, to say something new? So
Yeah,
thank you.
it's just another way of revealing your own truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Jose.
Yes, I'm sorry, I got so involved in the feeling of my grandchildren. So I wrote about the library. One of my greatest experiences as a 3-time grandfather, I enjoy being called Grandpa number 1. My wife and I drive our 2 youngest ones to their favorite public library in San Diego. It's located next to a big lake that my little ones enjoy after searching for one of their favorite books. The library has its scheduled book time with a reader who involves mostly very young kids who are not old enough to go to school. She or he has a corner that is staggered to see the patrons to enjoy the book readings. Since they don't know how to read yet, we have to read to them. They enjoy the great experience of listening to expert readers. Sometimes they bring prompts or live animals to enhance the theme of the book. After such enjoyable experience, they have a craft program to create and take home with pride to show to their mother, my daughter. We have to search for the books that they want to read. Usually the artwork is what attracts them to pick the 20 books that they are allowed to check out. My experience as a scribe will be transferred to them.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Aruni.
Myself. Okay, I'm not sure if I did this right, but that's true of every time I write. Joe comes into the Fullerton Public Library every day at opening hour. We on staff called him Old Joe because he looks like everyone's idea of a grandfather, complete with suspenders and a critical eye towards what the younger generation thinks is literature. We can feel him before the glass doors whoosh open, can smell his Old Spice aftershave from 10 paces. He always brings his own newspaper in with him, folded into quarters and tucked under his left arm. He doesn't like to wait his turn in periodicals. We take turns manning the desk counter to wait on old Joe. He has an uncanny ability to always ask for a Louis L'Amour paperback that the library does not have in the collection. Every time we offer to submit his title as a book for the library to acquire and hand him a request form and stubby golf pencil to write down his suggestion. Every time he grumbles, but accepts index card and pencil as tribute as he shuffles away. There is a stained, worn sofa on the second floor of the library where old Joe always sits. At least he starts off sitting. Within 15 minutes, he has toppled over, newspaper spread across his chest. He snores softly until shift change, then gathers his newspaper, descends the stairs, and wanders off into the mid-afternoon glare. On our breaks, we see him in the neighborhood surrounding the library, looking at the flowers in neighbors' front yards or petting dogs who know him. Old Joe goes missing a few days. We look for him in the parking lot every day. We keep a small stack of golf pencils and index cards at the ready. We set aside dog-eared westerns, hopeful that Joe will return.
That's great. Okay, so this is, I've heard you talk about this person before. Did Joe ever return?
Joe died. He came in every single day, and he was this like crusty old guy, but he was sweet. And we took turns because, you know, that was his life, was coming to the library every day. And then he went missing, and he went missing for a long time. And then somebody found out that he like lived in a sort of retirement home nearby that was walking distance from the library. And he was an elderly guy, so he passed away, but it was really sad because it was like we lost one of our own. Well, it wasn't like that. It was that.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. I think that's a great piece. So we've had fantastic pieces so far. Michelle, love to hear yours.
I actually shouldn't read this. I can't see it very well. Hold on a second. All right. Okay. At this table, dark, heavy, I should produce something more substantial, time-tested, meaningful. I can't find what I'm looking for, the beauty distracting. Where is the book? I need to do this. If it's anywhere, it will be here. The sunlight through the stained glass is a beam of, I don't know what, melancholy? No, that's cheesy. Mourning and melancholia? No, I already have that book. Well, whatever it is, I can't see the spines on the shelf. 169.1, 169.1, 169.1. It has to be here. I check the slip of paper, now sweaty, in my back pocket. The books here look gorgeous and old, even though they're recent. I don't want a recent text in 169.1. Write the book you're looking for. You have to write the book you're looking for. And there's that broken light again. Maybe I misprinted and the book is in special collections, a space even more sacred. The book exists. It's the book of my being here, alone. 169.1, social history. You left me almost 6 months ago. That's almost 169 days. The tables darken as the light shifts through the window. Why doesn't that blue come through? Ethereal. Where is this fucking book?
That very much feels to me like someone who's had a PhD in literature.
Spent a lot of time in Denison Library.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Denison Library.
That's wonderful.
Oh, what'd you say, Marta?
I love the Denison Library.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. I could just never get any work done there because I'd be too distracted by how pretty it was.
Joel, have you read the book Shadow of the Wind?
I
I'm
haven't.
sorry. Oh, John.
There's a book called Shadow of the Wind, and there's I'm going to get this slightly wrong. There's a magical place in the book called the Library of Forgotten Books, where people will take their books so that they survive. And I think you would love this book. It's one of my favorite books. It's written by an author from Barcelona named Ruiz Zafón. I'll look it up and put it in the chat. But if you're a bibliophile, you would love this book. And there's like a ghost story element, and it takes place against Franco's civil war in Spain. So there's just, it's very dense, and it's part of a trilogy, but it's the first one. And if you love the magic of books, you would love this book.
Well, that's great. Thank you. That's great. The Mind is a Master.
Great book to read. It is amazing, and poetry, and oh my God, he just filled me with a lot of power. Because the mind is the best thing that we can have. Fill it with stuff, and you become a better human being in all areas of your life. So I highly recommend. And there's another movie that I recommend people see. It's about passion, true passion. It's about an orphan who likes painting. And they're talking about Rubens, a great painter. And if you go to the museum of UCLA, by UCLA, they will find art by that painter. But that's an incredible movie about passion. It will fill you with love and inspiration, because most people don't have passion. It's unfortunate. And every writer has passion, or any artist has passion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so let's think about the next round. I agree with you, Jose. That's great. It sounds like we want to stay in the library. I think this is a group of people who are comfortable in the library. I've got all these books I'm supposed to write book reviews for, and when the library just reopened up, and out of instinct, I went over there and I checked out 5 books that I can't read, just because I feel comfortable in a library. So Nina, you're saying that your libraries are about to, or have just opened up. Ours too. So let's stay in the library. What I want you to do, okay, so libraries have rituals. I want you to have a character who violates one of those rituals. Now, this doesn't have to be a bad violation. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. One of the things you could do to violate a ritual is just to go. So there was somebody up at Cal Poly Library one time talking loudly on her cell phone and wandering around the no talk area. And that was such an annoying violation.
Yeah.
I was a professor at the time, so I got up and I, but had I been a student there, yeah, that's a violation. But also there are other violations as well. One thing people do at my college campus is it's really hot here. I just told you before, it can be very hot. There's no place to hang out. So students during the day when they have a long break will often fall asleep in the stacks. They'll just lie on the floor and you like stepping over them as to get to your book. You have to straddle a student every once in a while to get the thing. So that's a violation. I don't say that's a bad one. What else is that person supposed to do? Or there's any number of things, right? So just we're gonna violate the ritual of the library in some way. So we'll give that another 15 minutes or so. Maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, just kind of finish up wherever you are. Okay, we'll get to the readings in a second. I just want to do a quick plug for something happening this afternoon. So at 3 o'clock, we're going to be back in this room for a reading of this magazine. This is Choya Needles magazine. And it's features some, oh, there, Andrew's got one. Features some people who are closely associated with Mount SAC, including Aruni, she's here, and Andrew and Kelsey. Is there anybody else here who's in this one? No, but although some of the other people in this room will come, I'm doing 3 or 4 of these issues for Choya Needles, so there'll be more coming up soon with other people in this room. Okay, so if you'd like to read, please raise your hand. And Jose has his hand up first. So Jose.
Okay, here we go. Today I feel extremely depressed. So instinctively, I take out a joint that I carry in my coat pocket. I like to smell it before I light it up. Next to me, there is a young, beautiful lady who seemed very interested in joining me to enjoy that wonderful joint. She comes over and introduces herself. Her eyes are focused on the joint that I have in my hand. I smile and ask her if she would like to join me to inhale the wonderful smoke that gives so much pleasure. She smiles and nods happily, expecting to put my joint in her waiting lips. My mind extended to focus on her beautiful body, to weigh my joint to next to my joint. I light it up when she has placed it between her lips. She takes a couple of inhalations that make her feel so erotic. She hands me my handling back my joint, and both continue to inhale until the joint is totally consumed. She looks at me and hold my hand and take me to her apartment that was close by. As soon as we went into her apartment, she walked into the kitchen to take milk out of the refrigerator and open a box with donuts. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a violation of the library rules.
And slightly. Unless they join me, then there's no violation, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Andrew, you're up next.
Okay. He pushes the cart, old books jiggle and shake, up the elevator to third floor and sees a girl cross-legged on the floor, Starbucks in hand from the first floor, reading, making notes, earbuds in. Last year, he was that student, away from the dorm smells, the cacophonous living of students or of youth, and lived in the stacks. Perfect for hiding, perfect for escape, perfect for deadening all sounds. He pushes the cart, says nothing, but then, embarrassed, she finishes the drink and goes back to her note-taking. Books return to shelves, and he wonders what mundane secrets the library holds, what stories have not been written but in the air, the carpet, now gone to dust.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, what a cute little dog. All right, who's up next? Yeah, Rooney, please. Oh, did Nina want to go?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
No, neither did I, really.
I saw your hand.
Oh no, she was clapping.
I mean, I can, but it's ridiculous. Oh no, I was doing clapping hands for everyone, for Andrew. But I mean, I can read, but it's really silly.
Well, I think we all feel that about our writing.
Okay then. Thanks, Rudy. Fine. Okay. She decided to try a few tricks, nothing too obvious, just a few little finger benders, just to see if they did indeed work. The first thing she did was move the librarian's chair, the aptly named Miss Shuffle, back a few inches, just as she was about to sit down. All it took was a flick of the wrist. It worked. The chair moved as a split second of gravity gave way. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. As Mrs. Shuffle's ample bottom hit the ground instead. Oh, she exclaimed aloud. Children turned. One boy started laughing. The normally shushing Miss Shuffle had broken the sacred silence. Told you it was stupid.
That's fantastic. I think we all know Miss Shuffle. Okay, so up next is Rooney and then Michelle. And Linda, are you wanting to read too? Okay, so let's go Rooney, Michelle, and Linda.
Okay, this is me channeling Drew. Your roommates and my roommates are always home. We never have an apartment to ourselves. We have been friends for 3 years, but the romance is new. Dewy, sweaty. Powell Library looks like it would be better placed in medieval Spain rather than on a sunny quadrangle in Westwood. There's something holy about the place, like it should be populated by monks and scribes and not students in cutoff jeans, Birkenstocks, and ratty college sweatshirts. The stone floors are cool. The vaulted ceiling echoes our muffled laughter. You'd lead me into the stacks under the pretense of searching for a criticism on Pygmalion, for paper I'm supposed to be writing for next week's Bernard Shaw seminar. I trail my fingers across the shelves, searching for 822.912. I feel your hand on the crest of my hip, just inside the denim waistband of my Levi's. You rotate me so that my spine is pressed to the spines of 3 horizontal layers of British literature. The hush of books, the unnaturally loud thud of a volume falling in the row behind us as our fumblings cause a small avalanche of words.
That's great. That's great. Romance, fantastic. I'm not supposed to like that because my wife went to USC, but I like it despite. Yeah. How dare I? So okay, Michelle. Oh wait, who did I say was next? Was it Michelle next? Yeah. Okay, Michelle next.
I don't have to read if other people want to read.
No, we'd love to hear you.
Okay. The pages are stubborn, not wanting to leave their binding, but these pages must be unbound. The author has taken liberties, and names were not altered to protect the, well, not exactly innocent. I know you were here, Fred, trying to do this before me. Probably the reason these pages are stuck together, stuck to one another. I don't know how you managed to find enough time for that. I write on the chapter title page, some pretentious, irresponsible publisher only printed the title on this page as if someone might want to consider the significance of blank space or take notes. I write curses in Sharpie and the letters sound so angry they sicken me. You had no right, Dave, to write this book, even if our story haunted you. Violation after violation, begetting more violation. I used to like words on paper, the smell of pages. You have ruined so much. At the very least, these pages cannot be left to cohere. I can't do anything about the spine.
That's great.
A mystery, it's a murder mystery. It's Scream in a library, or I Know What You Did Last Summer in the library.
I like it. Linda, yeah.
Yeah, I came in the last 2 minutes you guys were writing and John told me. So I wrote like 2 sentences, but I'll read it. Brenda approached the desk. The librarian looked up, threw back her head and sneezed in Brenda's face. It had been exactly 24 hours since the mask mandate had been removed. She was angry.
Well, that is a violation of the rules of the library. That's fantastic. I think that's a violation of the rules of just human life. Just don't sneeze on people.
I know it's silly.
Right. All right, Chella.
Okay, I was inspired by silly. 10 years old in cut-off jeans and a tank top, I went to the library above the 2-engine fire station with a green rubber snake. Aunt Grace, who's usually there, she is the Trenton librarian and only McGovern supporter, had gone to a political rally in Birmingham and left Mrs. Hudgens in charge. Typical dorky babysitter type who never moved without checking the rules. I was ready for some mean fun. I left my green rubber snake in the Nancy Drew section and asked Miss Hudgens to help me find one of the mysteries. In her sensible brown shoes and sport hose, she led me straight to my snake. She broke out in a screech. I grabbed the snake and chased her into the coat closet. She locked the door, but little did she take into account the nooks and crannies where I could send the snake, taunting her with a spooky voice in my snake. She cut off the light, standing in darkness till I left about an hour later. And that sadly is a true story of a mean little kid in a little tiny town.
You terrorized the poor librarian.
I did.
All right. Okay, so we've been working on libraries. Let's continue our library tour. So this prompt is what lies hidden in the library? Say 3 or 4 more minutes. All right. Finish up wherever you are. You want to go first, Jose?
Yes, okay. That's a great theme because it reminds me when I wrote my master thesis, and I went to the library to check a master thesis to get an idea.
Sure.
And I could not find one. So I call myself a trailblazer. So the next person that will come in my same field, they will have something to work on. And a year of work, it was amazing. My first written book. So he said, as I walk into the library at Cal State LA to search for stored theses that were done on the subject of the one that I was prepared to write for my master program back in 1982. It was going to take a full year to complete the program with the writing of my thesis. The subject was about introducing the multiplication tables to my students. The librarian in charge of the thesis helped me find theses that dealt with my problem, but she was unable to locate anything close to my subject. It left a deep sadness being unable to find at least one. Then I realized that when I completed it, it will make me a trailblazer. Now that library has mine, and another student coming after me will be helped by my year of research and having proven my hypothesis.
That's great. That's a great subject for that as well. Kelsey just dropped a thing. She's editing anthology of cats and dogs. That's fantastic. I've got, is previously published okay, Kelsey?
Yep. Just let us know who to credit.
Oh, great. I've got one in mind that I'm going to send to you.
Yay. Thank you, John.
Like a 3-page poem.
Woo.
All right. Andrew, you're up next.
Okay. No one goes into the basement, at least no patrons of the library. It's a sacred place full of mysteries, but even more so of dust. Boxes upon boxes upon boxes, stacks upon stacks upon stacks. Thick with old books, old magazines, nothing in circulation anymore. It is my domain. As the keeper of the deep, so my coworkers call me. Every word here has been cataloged and only I know where everything here belongs. Boxes come, boxes go, each a line on a ledger I meticulously keep. All of these treasures are hidden on the floor down where no one ever goes but me. All the banned books, the lost books, one spineless, faceless, backless, stained, so old as to see their truth turned into lies around those best forgotten. The ledger keeps record, each new book here put away, and some books they slip away or I take them, give them their final rites, and offer them to a forgotten God before destroying them at last.
Oh, that's great. All right, Kelsey.
Hi, yeah, I wrote two short ones. I tried to make the second one sillier, but it wasn't quite. But anyways, what truth buried between the stacks, centuries of ancients whispering murmurs across place and time. You must dig between the pages to find what isn't spoken aloud. That takes a quietness to tell a truth translated, trust to find. This truth that goes through the silent voice internally telling you to keep looking past the edges of things, that a world once thought to be flat became round, that ideas of all kinds are often the same. Let the ancestors in, let them teach, let them teach what travels through history to reach us. And then the other one was, your nose hides in the library, the bottom half of your face, as you hold the book close, enraptured with a story only you can see.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so what I'm doing here is, notice everything's in the library. This is a really great way to build a collection, is to just find some sort of unifying something as you're going through. We're say we have 20 pages for a chapbook. You are now 3/20ths of your way to a chapbook, and you can continue going on this. Keep going on this. It's fiction and some memoir, some poetry. You just got a poem and a bit of memoir. That's fantastic. So let's continue. Let's do one more. We're going to have a little bit less time for this. How about what was hidden before? No, it's getting lost in the chapbook. And Aruni, yeah, that'd be cool. Chapbook group. That'd be really cool. So getting lost in the library. Okay, why don't we finish up where we are? Okay, so I wanted to address some stuff that we were talking about before. Aruni, you were interested in doing a chapbook group. I think that's a really good idea. Have a group to help develop a chapbook, possibly for a lot of people. The first.
No, I meant like, let's write a chapbook as a group.
As a group. Oh, okay. We could do that too. To find a good publisher and probably a particular theme.
A
That kind of
themed
thing.
one, yeah,
That'd
like
be really-
Kelsey's doing.
Yeah,
But she did a full-length one, but like if we did, a library chapbook,
that'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun, right?
if we have enough material to do a large chapbook.
That might be something interesting to think of for maybe one semester of Culturama, just building a chapbook that we find a publisher for. That'd be really cool.
You can even do it as like a PDF or ebook to start out. And that can cut down on printing costs to make it like super accessible to a lot of people too. So
That'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be nice to be accessible to people.
I've participated in Inlandia with 4 books.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20. And then as a group too, we did another one, ebook. It was fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing your name in the book is the most beautiful feeling for a writer.
Absolutely. And Inlandia is such a great organization.
Yeah.
If you're in the Inland Empire, join Inlandia. It's a fantastic group. Okay, so I think Luis, I'm sorry, Jose, you had your hand up first.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go about Lost in the Library. Okay. I heard about a great library that many people talk about. As I walk into a building that had several floors plus 3 underground levels, I feel totally lost as to where I will go. Being a man, I don't like to ask for directions. And unfortunately, my cell phone did not have the app for the library. I acted as if I was knowledgeable of the whole place. I did not want to look on the directory of the place. So I just wandered going from one room to another. I was lost and did not know where to go. Soon after, my cup of Starbucks took its effect and I needed to go to the bathroom. I walked in one direction and came to the end of the hall. I returned in the opposite direction and there was no bathroom. A little girl noticed my urge to use the bathroom and she pointed in the right direction. When I came out, the little girl told me that all daddies were stubborn and did not want to ask for directions.
Great. Talk about using the setting to help us understand the character. That's fantastic. That's great. Kelly.
The library I work at is minuscule. I can see the patrons' disappointment as they enter. It is a single brightly lit room, all sunlight and open space. There are no crevices or crannies. The shelves have been shortened in the children's section to give clear lines of sight. People walk in, wander the 3 aisles of adult books, that's fiction and nonfiction, and walk back out again. And I get it. There's an ambience that is missing. We have no vaulted ceilings or rolling ladders. All our books are new because we have to weed them mercilessly. Shipments come in every day, and to keep the shelves from overflowing, we must be vicious and proactive with our culling. We are too clean, too modern, too antiseptic. The disappointed patrons do not sense the mystery. I want to shout at their backs. You didn't open a single book. You're missing everything. Let me give you something, anything to take home with you.
Oh, that's great. What library do you work at?
It's Stanton. It's part of OC Public Libraries, but it's a very small branch.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got your library system has the most beautiful library in the world, designed by that famous architect. It's down near San Juan Capistrano. I've forgotten the name of it.
I should know, but I don't. I've heard it mentioned before, but I don't know.
It's extraordinary. And with that, Mike Graves designed the library. And so we were just sort of wandering around in the library, and walked up and started giving us a tour. She realized that we were doing architecture, not books.
Wow.
So,
Jan,
yeah.
how about the Huntington Library?
Oh, I love the Huntington Library. Yeah, it's like and the grounds outdoors are just amazing.
Yeah, that's a different system. That's a city versus county.
Yeah. Michelle.
Orange Public Library.
Okay. I don't know why I keep volunteering to read. These are so dumb. All right. Kevin is 10. He wanders from the YA section, sick of having to read books like The Giver. No one watches as he slips down the back stairwell. He has one of those afraid of your freedom moments, but recovers quickly and takes 3 pieces of bubblegum from his front pocket, shoves them all into his mouth at once. He's found a bunch of books on Egypt that he used to get mad at his brother for mentioning because Kevin didn't believe they were there. He thought the basement of the library was just for cleaning stuff and those squeaky trolleys. He opens a book on King Tut, is surprised that it isn't upstairs since no one seems to be able to talk about anything other than that exhibit at the Met. It's everywhere. Treasures of the Boy King. Kevin takes, Rooney, do you remember that? Kevin takes the book and sits in a far corner. Almost dark. I don't know what it is. On page 10, he finds a picture of a tomb and a description of all the things that people put in the tombs of a pharaoh. The light flickers. He hears a word, grumbled, the voice so deep it's almost inaudible. Patrimony, it says, and Kevin is gone. So stupid. I'm sorry.
That's great. Did you go to the Treasures of King Tut when you were like 9 years old? You're muted.
I didn't go. That's why I asked her Rooney about, because I think we grew up in New York, so it was probably like everything we did for that year in school. And I'm not sure if I was 9 or if it was like 5th grade or 6th grade. But everything we did in art class had something to do with that exhibit. Like we kept making these copper repoussé things of his headdress and stuff.
I think I'd already been in California by then, but I did go to the Treasures of Akhenaten, who was like, that was a period of art in ancient Egypt that broke from tradition. And I thought it's like my favorite period of Egyptian art because it's more naturalistic and voluptuous. But I think I was in California. I missed the Mission project in California, but I missed
came right,
window.
I didn't come here until the end of 7th grade, so I didn't get the Mission project at all.
We're having a very Gen X moment now. So
Yes, we are.
It came through and we were that age. Okay, so yeah, I got to see our school went there. It was great. Linda.
Okay, I scribbled this, so I hope I can read it. She pushed the whiskey bottle back onto the bookshelf and placed the Fitzgerald Great Gatsby back in its place and heard the sound of the bottle clanking between the shelves. Shit. She walked around the corner to the other side, the J section. Where had the bottle gone? She bent down, pulled out P.D. James' A Taste for Death, and awkwardly reached her arm between the shelves, groping for anything that felt like a glass container. Nothing. She pulled on her arm. Damn, she was stuck. Her hand was jammed between the shelves.
I love the specificity of the books and everything else. I think that's
silly.
Yeah.
I love the books that you use for hiding the bottle. Those are very
telling.
Thanks. I looked them up on Google. I was like, okay, F. Okay, J.
You know, as you've all been reading this, and a lot of people have done call numbers, I've been trying to find the books that you're referencing in the call numbers. And so somebody referenced Harry Potter, which was cool. I love the way you're adding to the stuff.
Yeah, I like the P.D. James title, you know, A Taste of Death. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, P.D. James, just it's fantastic. Okay. Anybody else want to? Yeah, Rooney.
Just because I'm desperately trying to generate stuff for a collection I'm working on, so maybe I can do this. I wrote a poem, is that okay?
Fantastic.
Okay. Riffling through titles in the card catalog, drawer after drawer of secret maps, coded messages, the stub of pencil in pocket, scratch paper smudged with call numbers, Dewey Decimal love note. No spool of magic thread to lead me out of the labyrinth, but no waiting minotaur either. Carpeted steps wind deeper into a ravine of words, this chasm of spines wrapped in cellophane. The call of Mrs. Kleiss, my first grade teacher, grows faint, the siren song of Beverly Cleary and Judy Blume luring me not towards the rocks, but higher, towards light, towards escape.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay, well, I did 4 prompts today, and I am promptless now. We can take an extra long break, or if you have any questions or comments, maybe Kelsey, you could tell us how to send you stuff, that kind of thing.
Sure, I would love to. John mentioned, I put it in the chat, puppy cats, all one word. The anthology is accepting submissions through May 31st. I think I'll put the email in the chat again. It's bindyourownbooks.editor. I think I put the wrong one in there, at gmail.com. And I prefer if you put stuff in the body of the email, so I don't have to open files. And yeah, I would love your submissions of poetry and flash fiction. I heard so many, getting to know so many great authors in this space. So if you have any questions, just send them my way. It's through the micro press that I run, Bind Your Own Books.
You put in the chat so I can copy?
Yes.
Please, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other cool announcements?
We just had something come up in a private chat. We're thinking about finding a way to publish this, and so make sure you keep your stories and stuff. I will try to follow up. It's difficult to do this on the fly, so I'm gonna have to follow up with you if we're doing this. So I really appreciate that. That's good. And Kelsey, I'm absolutely gonna send you some stuff. I've got a body switching story of with me and my dog that I'm gonna send you. It was an odd day. Okay, so I think we'll take just a little bit extra long break, and we'll be up in a little while with Andrea Ross, who's a fantastic writer. Hope you stick around.
That's 3, right?
I'm sorry?
3 o'clock?
No, we have one at 1 o'clock, and then we have a reading that's not technically Culturama at 3 as well.
Okay.
That'll be Andrew and other people. So this will be like a conversation with Andrew.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.